Oh. So we have a microphone on and do I have it?
It appears to me, yes. Is that on?
Yeah, let's practice that.
I get the sheet.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, welcome everyone. I'd like to call the board meeting to order. I'd like to stand and have the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, welcome everyone. I'd like to start the meeting here. We do have several public hearings throughout, so we will not only recess the meeting to open those public hearings, but we'll be back and forth throughout. I do have a sign-in sheet here for those who wish to speak on certain topics, but I will ask again at any point during those hearings, after those hearings, to allow people to speak if they would like to. So we'll start out first. We have the Oracle, excuse me, I'm getting way ahead here. I'd like to get a motion for the approval of the amended agenda presented.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the approval of the amended agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now moving into the Oracle update, I'd like to, before we get to the Oracle update, I didn't see anybody listed as far as public comment. Is there anybody tonight that has a public comment that would like to speak? Okay. All right, now I'll ask Miss Sierra White to come up for the Oracle update for the FFA Livestock Judging Team.
So we've been here before. I'm Clayton,
Aubrey, and Addison.
and then Maddie was unable to join us this evening, but us four will be heading to Exarban here at the end of the month, post you guys approving it. But we qualified for that after we were 5th overall in the state. So this is a national invitational contest that we're going to, that you're going to judge alongside junior and senior colleges, but in separate divisions. So it's a very prestigious contest that is going to be rather expensive for us to get out there. So we went to our generous donors and have collected $6,000 to get us out there and back. I'd like to give a huge thank you to Jason Pearson and family and Jerry Sparks. Both of them were very generous in the amount they gave us to help us fund our way out there. So
as we're preparing for this contest, we have been actively networking with other teams that are headed out to Nebraska. So the past 2 weekends, we've judged pigs. So Saturday, the Labor Day weekend, we judged pigs at Riker and Kretzmeyer's. We practiced alongside junior and senior colleges around the community. And then last weekend, we went to the Purdue Sheep and Beef Research Units, where we judged along Eastern Hancock. And we had been asked if we wanted to travel out there with them to Nebraska. And we said yes, as long as you guys approve our trip. And we are going to stop at 3 farms in Illinois and 1 farm in Iowa, headed out to Nebraska just to judge numerous different species just to prepare us for this contest. We really appreciate you guys' continuous support and allowing us to go on these trips and allowing us to do these things.
Are there any questions on the judging trip?
How long are you gonna be on?
So we're leaving on Thursday night after school there on the 25th. And then we haven't decided if we're gonna drive all the way through Sunday night after the contest or we'll lay over in Iowa and drive the rest of the way on Monday. So that Thursday night to Monday.
Wish you guys the best of luck. I would say, enjoy the moment. I mean,
Come back.
yeah, I've already lost enough kids to the West, don't need to lose anymore.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna stay up here and give you a final update on how I did with my Greek speaking. So here's a plaque that I'm gonna pass around for all of you guys to view. So I'd like to start off just by thanking you guys for supporting me along this journey. The Delphi School Board has been so supportive and I am so appreciative of all you did. I competed on Tuesday, June 17th. As a Greek speaking. Later that afternoon, I found out I made the top 4. I didn't know what order I'd placed, but I had risen to the top. Can you go ahead and play? To say the least, that was a very busy week for Aubrey. My wonderful mom and I drove to Springfield, Missouri as soon as I was done competing so I could be ready for showmanship early the next morning at the National Charolais Cattle Show. Needless to say, I had my game on that morning as I finished 3rd overall intermediate showman at the national show. You may be wondering why I'm fulfilling you about a cattle show. Well, that's because my sister was the one who represented me at the stage at national or state convention while I was in Missouri. When my sister represented me on stage and my first name was called, which meant I finished 4th place, I am ever so grateful for Miss White coming into school during her busy summer, my family for supporting me through this. I would not be able to make it to practices without my brother driving me, and I couldn't do it without my parents' support. This is definitely a memory that will stick with me for a while. Again, this amazing school board, thank you for all of your support along the way, putting up with me a couple of meetings and allowing me to practice. I am extremely proud and I was able to represent Delphi FFA at the state level. Now on to the 2026 LDE competition where I'm looking at employment skills where I continue improving my leadership skills. Thank you.
Now, Audrey, I got a question. Okay. So freshman Creed, right?
Yeah.
4th place, but they only take 3, right? So you're
No, only the winner would be the national.
the first is the only one that goes national, right? Okay. For what you did when you first came in here, the first day, I still remember the first time you gave to us, right? Until the last time you gave us before you went in our release committee, right?
Yeah.
That we had. You have grown so much. And this is about what experience it is. What right now, your emotions and stuff. I applaud you for one. There isn't hardly a lot of people will do the Creed speaking. It's not necessarily easy. I've judged them. And so you got to know to the period throughout a whole Creed, right? To what and then answer those questions. And that is something in itself in my book. I want to wish you as well as the others, because in the future, I know the leadership contests and stuff, you guys will do fabulous. Again, I'll put a plug in for Ag Issues that we need to figure out a team for Ag Issues for the future, because that does pay some monetary value back to these kids. So again, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank everyone for the FFA update there. Obviously exciting times for some of these kids that get to travel and compete and that have worked so hard to do so. Now, we also have another recognition. I'd like to call forward Mr. Hawk for the DCES Students and Staff recognition.
Thank you. And we're going to start with students. And first we'll invite up Grayson Skiles.
All right. So these students were nominated by their teachers for exhibiting the Oracle way, which is to be responsible, respectful, safe, and kind. And so his teacher wrote about Grayson. Grayson is always respectful, kind, and patient in the classroom. He is always willing to lend a helping hand to his friends, listens to his teacher, and uses kind words in the classroom. He shows respect by cleaning up after himself in the classroom and in the cafeteria. So nice job.
Go ahead and stay. Grayson, go ahead and stay. And next would be out of first grade, Dallas and Easton Morgan, who are twins. They were not able to be here, but I do have a comment from their teacher. Dallas and Easton Morgan are two amazing boys. They are respectful to other students and adults. They show respect by listening when adults are speaking, following directions the first time they're given, and treating others with kindness. So, in that sense, next we'll invite up Eli Skiles.
Right, so Eli's teacher said, Eli was nominated because Eli models respect daily for his classmates. Eli shows respect by being responsible when he makes good choices with his actions and with his classroom and personal belongings. Eli shows respect by modeling kindness, empathy, and support to others. Eli demonstrates the trait of respect when he actively listens, speaks calmly, and in how he expresses himself respectfully. Eli loves to learn, and he's appreciative for the opportunity by always putting forth awesome effort. I am proud of Eli.
Next, out of third grade, we had another tie, and it is also a set of twins. Kendall and Addison Parks, if you would come up. You're gonna have to say which one's Kendall, which one's Addison. The third grade teacher's report was not planned that these two sisters were both chosen. Each third grade teacher chose a different student of the month, and from that pool of 5 were narrowed down to one student. Mrs. Hoffman and Mrs. Unger just happened to choose the twin sisters for this month. They are equally special and both deserve this recognition. Addison was chosen for her hardworking spirit, attention to detail, and kindness. Kendall was chosen because she demonstrates respect to her classmates and teacher every day. She is kind, patient, and always willing to help other people. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little great.
We can do on that side too.
Yeah. Eli, why don't you just down there a little bit? And next, we're going to invite up from fourth grade, Griff Little.
There you go. You go. You can follow, that's okay, that's okay.
All right. Griff's teacher said that Griff is one of the most respectful and polite students that I have ever worked with. He is respectful to both adults and his classmates. Griff is a great listener and always follows directions. He works hard and does his best even when things are difficult. He has a great attitude. He is kind, patient, and helpful to everyone. Griff is a great example of a respectful student. He is a positive role model for the other students in our class and in our school.
And last, but certainly not least, from fifth grade, Charlotte Pierce. Charlotte's teacher reports, Charlotte is not only a wonderful student, but also a very caring and kind person. She works hard and puts a lot of thought and care to everything she does. Charlotte is also always looking for ways to help the people around her. whether that is other students or teachers. She is responsible and always puts forth her best. She always puts her best foot forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All together? Do you want them all together? Okay. Well, I guess at this point, you finished?
This is finished with students.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Do you want to do students or everybody together? It's up to you.
I guess I was saying students with the school board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. We're going to take a break just a second here. We'll get a picture with everybody over here. We'll just do a group of everyone together, I think. You want to be involved? You're on the board.
I suppose.
Right in front. All kids in the front.
Hold up your certificate.
Oh.
Okay, smile big. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. Smile big, cheese. There we go. Thank you.
All right. Good job.
So next, we're going to recognize some staff members. And I can tell all of you, these were not easy decisions. And when I send out an email to all staff, there are 78 people that goes out, because that's a lot of people to help in a lot of different areas of our school. So all I had to do was keep reminding myself that we were going to do this next semester too. So if we didn't get somebody this time, there was still time. First, we'd like to invite up Sherry Connor. Sherry currently teaches 4th grade. She has taught 41 years for the school corporation. Sherry has dedicated many, many hours to countless projects and memorable opportunities for our students. She has volunteered to spearhead projects throughout the years, the latest being the One Book, One School project. Sherry is also an excellent teacher that embodies our vision at BSCS. She works tirelessly to create and teach engaging lessons to students, and she's always volunteering to organize and lead committees that will further our goals and benefit our students. Thank you, Sherry. Just like before, you have to stay. So. Next, we'll invite Mrs. Dora.
Jill has been teaching for 31 years. Jill has given 100% to BCES for many years. She is a leader on her team and always steps up to any challenge. She has been a great leader through curriculum committees and other things. She can be counted on to do whatever it is needed for her students in our school. And I also can say firsthand, knowing her this past year and the start of this year, that she fights extremely hard for students to get them what they need no matter what. So she also just loves Delphi. She loves her school, and she loves being a teacher here, and she continues to strive to perfect her craft. Looking back for 31 years, so I think that's amazing.
Next, we're going to invite up Andrea Garth, custodian. Andrea has been with us for 14 years. Do you need something done at BCES? Andrea is the person to call. From painting the hallways to capturing possums on the playground. Andrea is up to the task. She approaches her job with pride and always has a smile for everyone she sees. Thank you. Next, we'll invite up Mrs. Christina Walker.
Chris Walker has been with Delphi Community School Corporation for 6 years. She started in June of 2019. Chris is a hard worker. She goes above and beyond. She has all of her teachers spoiled. And they love her. They all know when Chris is absent. Chris is a little OCD, so she has to have everything straightened and in its place. We appreciate everything she does. Thank you for all your work.
Next, I would like to invite up Angie Kemp. Lots of people wear two hats at Delphi. However, Angie has driven a bus for 28 years and ran a cafeteria for 21 years. Angie is a person who will fill you up at lunch and then drive you home after. Things you can count on from Angie: a drama-free work environment, a spotless kitchen, well-prepared meals, and a bus full of children taken to and from school safely. Thank you. Next, we'll invite up Stacy Pearson.
Stacy has been working in the cafeteria for 12 years. She is a very hard worker and is fun to work with. She hardly ever misses work because she loves the kids and her coworkers. She cooks most of the food for all the lunches at the elementary school, and she is the best, and we appreciate her so much.
Next, I'd like to invite up Susan Harrison. Susan is a special ed teacher. She has been with us for 7 years. At Delphi Elementary School, Susan is the cornerstone of the special education department. She is a unique blend of being a talented instructor and a patient caregiver, a proficient scheduler and an enthusiastic cheerleader, with the stamina to be on the move all day, completing paperwork all night. Once again, last but definitely not least, Kathy Strasser.
Kathy has served the students of Delphi for 27 years. She is the embodiment of a professional educator. She approaches her position with a sense of urgency and a goal to help every student be successful. When the unexpected happens, we can always count on Kathy to step up and help whenever or wherever she is needed, and she always exceeds our expectations.
And I am the one that called for the class and help.
But when we had video, like we did.
I have pictures of tossing in a box.
Oh, okay. Now I'd like to move everybody over here for another photo with us.
You want to write your best?
Okay, all right.
Always.
Can we squeeze just a little more on this end? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile, cheese. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, thank you.
Yeah, change that.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. I want to thank Mr. Hawk and Mrs. Carlson, again, our administrators from the elementary school, to help us just recognize not only students but staff. We wanted to kind of change things up this year and continue to just recognize everyone that really puts out extra effort. So at this time, those of you that were here for the recognitions, you are welcome to leave. We have a packed schedule here, but you're also welcome to stay. So this will be your chance to exit, because I'm getting ready to open up we're going to recess the regular scheduled meeting and open up a public hearing for the public hearing SEA 390 pre-formal collective bargaining. So this is a chance for patron comments about the hearing. This has to do with the collective bargaining for the teachers. I do have an attendance sheet here that was filled out with several people. Is there anybody else that would like to add their name to the sheet to speak tonight? Okay. First off, I will call up Mr. Tim Connor then.
Well, we kind of have our own order, if that's okay.
You can take your order as you choose then.
Okay, so Mrs. Hoffman. Well, okay, so there is number one. Jill, Mrs. Hoffman.
Yeah, please state your name and address before you speak.
Jill Rout, 911 South Center Street. Okay, good evening, members of the board. I'm Jill Rout, and as a proud Delphi educator over 30 years, I'm speaking to you this evening as a representative of the students' future to explain why a fair and robust teacher contract is vital to their education. I've spent most of my career right here at Delphi. This is my 29th year as a full-time teacher. And before that, I spent a few years subbing, covering a maternity leave, and working as an enrichment pull-out teacher. I've had 8 principals and 6 superintendents in my years here at Delphi. But throughout the many changes in leadership, the overwhelming reason that I have remained at Delphi is for the sense of family community that I experienced working at Delphi. When I subbed, I was able to work at various surrounding schools, and by far my favorite place to work was here. People care about one another, and I feel very supportive here. I love the teams that I've been fortunate to work alongside throughout my career. I appreciate how the board listens to and considers ways to improve our schools for the entire community. I feel proud being a part of this school system, and I do look forward to retiring from Delphi when that time comes. This fall, we will bargain for a new contract. As we sit down at the table, I ask you to remember that a teacher's working conditions are also a student's learning conditions. When advocating for a competitive salary, the district can retain the most talented, dedicated educators who understand and are invested in the students' long-term success. This stability is essential for our students. As we all know, in our current educational climate, there's competition and enticement in hiring and retaining the best educators. Delphi can and should be considered a competitive school with the goal of staff and student retention. Everyone believes in the students here. A fair and respectful contract is the foundation for their future. Working together with mutual respect will create a contract that honors the commitment to their success. Thank you for your time and diligence in making Delphi a place that other educators want to remain for the duration of their careers.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Liz Hoffman. I'm from Lafayette. My address is 7701 Rolling Hill Drive. This is my 11th year of teaching. I know I look kind of old to be 11 years in, but I sat out for several years raising kids and became a preschool teacher and a university supervisor for student teachers. And I'm about 12 years into a tutoring business that began in response to the iRead test. So I've done a lot of different things during my educational career. Right now I'm a 3rd grade teacher, and this is my 4th year back in it after missing the whole COVID experience and the Google revolution. But I wanted to let you know about a conversation that I had with Tim Connor this week that kind of just tells you how I feel about Delphi. And I'm trying not to get emotional because it's been kind of an emotional night watching students flourish and seeing people reach for their dreams as they aren't third graders, they're in high school, and I'm seeing the product of what we're trying to do. But I was a third grader at Delphi when I decided to become a teacher. And this is the culmination of one of my dreams. When I'm on the playground, supervising recess, I envisioned what it looked like in 1986. I was there during all of the iterations of the building. I plan to hopefully finish my career at Delphi. I didn't get to start it there because teaching was a competitive sport in 2002 and 2001 when I was entering the profession. But I just ask that you consider the fact that I'm hopefully teaching some future teachers. And we want those kids to stay in this community and raise their kids here and show them that we value them. And I'd love to just thank you for making us feel that way and hopefully continuing that relationship. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Leslie Pickering, address, pretty sure is 465 West 150 South, 175 South, for Indiana. So unfortunately I have to read just because it makes me nervous to stand up here, different teaching to kids. So thank you for taking the time to listen to us tonight. I absolutely love Delphi School Corporation. I've been here back 11 years. I was at another school corporation and I decided it was time to remember why I became a teacher. I was unhappy there and I realized that I had a different philosophy than they did on education. The difference is I had been at a corporation that valued education over athletics. I had been at a corporation that felt like family. I had been in a corporation where I knew I belonged, and I knew a corporation that just everywhere felt like home. It was a school system that not only cared about one student, but every student's education, not just certain students. The problem is I now had a family to think about first, but when I thought about that, I wanted my kids growing up in a community and at a school corporation that valued education. I remember when Mr. Walker called me and I was pretty ecstatic because I knew that God was opening doors. So everyone always says, well, if you aren't making enough money, go find a different job. Well, the thing is, I am happy. I love Delphi, and that's why I came back here. I love working with the students here every day. I love seeing them thrive and find their passion. When individuals talk about education, oh, you could do something else, it truly breaks my heart. That's like telling someone to go find a different dream. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I have 3 kids to think about, but still I wanted them to know sometimes money isn't everything. And sometimes in life you have to reach for your happiness and your dreams. I know that the board has always had our best interests at heart, and I appreciate that you put this pay scale back in a few years ago. As a teacher, I feel more financially secure now that I can see what the next year is going to look like for my family. I know that changed the mind of a few young teachers into not leaving when we changed the old contract. You and I both know sometimes everyone is not always replaceable, like Jill was speaking about. It's beneficial to have those experienced teachers. So here we are in negotiations again. Unfortunately, we lost some great teachers and some staff, but there's nothing we can do about that to other professions or other schools. We may never be able to do what they can do, but they don't have what Delphi has, the family atmosphere. As a parent of 3 children that have had and are attending the school corporation, the only thing disappointing is sometimes the consistency and the turnover. Teachers don't realize the grass isn't greener on the other side. This building is a building who builds around kids and family. I want my kids to grow up knowing their teachers. I do not want a revolving door of teachers as a parent. I want there to be familiar faces at Delphi. I want them to know this is where to stay and this is home. We want them to see that Delphi is not just a training ground for other school corporations. Thank you for taking the time to listen tonight. I know, sorry, I just messed up. Sorry. They value We value our teachers by supporting them, and you guys have done a phenomenal job in that. The community is great in stepping up in times of need, and I know our board and corporation want to show them that you value their children and value retaining consistency is not just good teachers, but great teachers. Like I said, I love Delphi. I was not born and raised here. I'm a transplant, so to speak. However, please know this, my heart bleeds black and gold. I want my kids to grow up and want to come back. My son, who was graduated 2 years ago, has already seen the importance of coming back and being part of the alumni who steps up and helps out when there's shortages. He understands the importance of coming back and speaking to students about the trades and giving back is important because that was instilled in him here at Delphi. We are proud that they graduated from Delphi. I want my kids to come back from college or whatever with their families and see former teachers and be able to brag about, Mr. Connor back there and the accomplishments and thank their former teachers like you guys did tonight. I do not want them to come back and say, I have no clue who's around here anymore after just 3 years. Again, I appreciate all you do and continue to do for us teachers. I just ask that you take that into consideration when marketing. We have made great strides and we want to thank you for your time and appreciate everything you do for our school corporation.
Thank you.
Hi again. I'm Sherry Connor, 5634 West State Road 18, Delphi. As Andrew said, this is my 41st year at Delphi as a teacher. I started out in Delphi way back a long time ago as a student. I haven't ventured far from home. I literally live a half mile from where I grew up. With the exception of the 5 or 6 years before I started school and the 4 years I was at Purdue, where we're at, I have been a Delphi student, teacher, parent, and I'm super proud of my community and my town. My concern is I want to see Delphi, the community, continue to grow. We've lost employers, we've lost families, and I think that we as a school are going to be the ones to bring our community back to life and to make it grow. And the main way for us to do that is to have a school corporation that's going to attract those people. I see these beautiful new homes being built, and I'm thinking, okay, who's going to live there? Well, we got to bring people in from out of town. And what's going to bring them to Delphi and make them willing to drive to Lafayette to their jobs is our school corporation. And we've got to make our school corporation something that people are willing to travel for. And I really and truly believe that we can do that. We have families. I love seeing our former students bringing their families back to Delphi. That's a huge, important sign that we need to capitalize on. We need to capitalize on the fact that we are a small community and we've got a lot of benefits. And it's all going to revolve around our school. We don't have the industry in Delphi where people are going to move here and set up shop because we don't have that industry. But we do have the community and the strength of a small town. And I think that that's huge, that our school has to be what brings people in to our community. How do we do that? Well, to make our school the best, we've got to have the best teachers and the best administrators and the best support staff that we can possibly have. And we've got a great staff. We have great administrators and we have great teachers, but we've got to keep them here. And the only way to do that is through a competitive contract. And this is not about my contract because my days in Delphi or as a school corporation or as an employee here are winding down. And it makes me really sad. But on the other hand, I'm concerned about my colleagues. I'm concerned about the teachers that I teach next door to. And are they going to be the ones who are going to carry on that legacy that we have? And we have a pretty strong legacy. And I think a lot of you went to Delphi. Or Carroll. We'll let that one go. But anyway, our kids deserve the best. Our teachers deserve the best contract we can possibly give them. Our community deserves the best. And our community is going to grow if our school brings in those people. The bottom line is our students deserve the best. And in order for us to have the best, we've got to be able to recruit and then also retain those teachers. That's my soapbox. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can Jay speak even though he didn't?
Yeah, you can speak. You go ahead. State your name and address.
Appreciate it. On behalf of Tim, make sure of that one.
Hi, I'm Jay Dennison. I live at 512 West Summit Street here in Delphi. I've served on our bargaining committee for several years and the bargaining chair for several years. We always appreciate the open communication that we have back and forth with the school board and the DCTA. I do feel we've always been fiscally responsible and put that as one of our priorities, that we want to make sure that we're not only competitive but fair. And look out for our current employees. I think you've heard tonight, we have several that bleed black and gold, and we want to continue that as we bargain into this next year. And we also recognize that it's getting more difficult to stay competitive with other school corporations and to draw in newer and younger teachers. So in doing that, we look at that aspect as well, and we want to make sure that we bargain fairly, and we want to continue the growth in our community. So we appreciate this time to continue to bargain with the school board and with DCTA, and we hope that we can all reach a contract that's both fair and competitive, and we become someplace that people want to come to. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
My name is Tim Connor. I'm president of DCTA. My address is 5634 West State Road 18. It's the same address as my wife, so. And we like people from the region too, Dr. Moore.
Thank you.
I was back there listening to everyone talk, and I think Dr. Morse, if you just go superintendents, she's my 9th superintendent. If you figure in interim, she's probably my 12th or 14th superintendent that I've worked for. And I think Delphi is a great place to be because, like I said, I was only going to want to be here for 2 years, and I stayed 40 more than what I thought I would. And it's the good things that have happened, and it's what everybody has said. It's the community. It's the people that you get to know. Going up to McDonald's and the kids even know what your order is before you even order it. It's just part of being in a small town. It's the culture. I think Delphi has always had great things going on. I think great things go on every day. And a part of that is because I think we have a board that's very interested and invested in our community. I think we have a new superintendent who's vested in our community and wants to be a part of it. The administrative team, I think we're on the right track there. There are just a lot of great things happening. My concern is a lot like my wife's concern, is probably starting this year and the next 5 years, Delphi Community School Corporation is going to lose a lot of experienced teachers. I figured probably by the time in the next 4 or 5 years, after we get through that, probably the most experienced teacher at the elementary school will probably be about 44, 45 years old. And we want to keep everybody there. We want to hire the best. We want to retain everyone. We want people to feel like this is a place where they can build a career, where their work is valued. And I think Delphi is the right place to do that. I've been on a lot of bargaining teams, and it seems like it's gone really well the last few years because we all know that we have to work for the common good. Our goal, obviously, is to provide the best education we can for our kids. People talk about natural resources and everything like that. I think the best strongest natural resource that the state of Indiana has is our children. And if we look out for the children, then everything else will fall in place. So I look forward to bargaining with you. I think it'll be I think it'll be a pleasant experience. And I want to thank you for this time. I want to thank you for your service because I know being on the school board sometimes isn't the most, you guys don't get probably the praise that you deserve, but I appreciate what you've done because I've known some of you forever. Good grief, I've had your kids. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Tim, are you the last of the group?
Yes.
Did anybody else wish to speak? Okay. Hearing none, we plan to adjourn the public hearing for the SEA 390 pre-formal collective bargaining at this point. Now that we've adjourned that hearing, we will go right into the public hearing for the bus replacement plan, the capital project plan, and the 2026 budget as presented at previous meetings. This is basically just an opportunity for public to have their chance to speak about this topic. I did not have anybody on the list written down to speak about this hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to? Okay. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing for the bus replacement plan, the capital project plan, and the 2026 budget as previously presented. At this point, I will now open our third and last public hearing of the night. This is the project hearing and second preliminary determination hearing. This is the next item on the agenda for the board to hold a project and preliminary hearing on the proposed bond projects. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure that you have signed in on the sheet, as well as I will ask for that at the end. Make sure you include your name and address if you plan to speak. After a presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make those comments about the project. At this specific hearing, we will ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes and that the topic be limited to the proposed projects under consideration. The notice of this preliminary determination hearing was published as legally required. The first preliminary determination hearing was held on August 20th, 2025. At this time, I will ask Dr. Pamela Moore, Delphi Community School Corporation Superintendent, to explain the purpose of this hearing.
Pursuant to Indiana Code 20-26-7-37, before a school corporation may spend more than $1 million to build, repair, or alter a school building that will be financed by a lease or bonds, it must hold a public hearing at which explanations of the potential value of the project to the school corporation and community are given. Similarly, pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1-1-20-3.1, a school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminary determine to issue bonds or enter a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of a non-controlled project. These public hearings and the consideration of resolutions represent the beginning of the legal process. The resolutions presented at this meeting establish the maximum financial terms for the proposed projects.
Okay. And now at this time, I will ask Dr. Pamela Moore, Superintendent, about the process of determining and communicating the projects to the community and the needs for the projects.
So the administration, in collaboration with the school board, community stakeholders, have carefully studied the conditions of our facilities, technology, student learning environments. And so over the past several years, even when I wasn't present, conversations have taken place at board meetings, community meetings to review building needs, evaluate capital project priorities, and determine the most effective use of resources to support our students. So with faculty assessment, staff input, we have shaped a comprehensive plan that balances immediate needs with long-term improvements. So these projects will address safety, functionality, of course, ensuring our schools remain welcoming, efficient, and supportive of student success. So areas that we looked at: safety and accessibility, learning environments, technology and instructional support, athletics and extracurriculars, and operations. So through this process, the school board and administration have prioritized projects, not only to maintain our facilities, but enhance the overall educational experience for every student.
Okay. Now I would like to ask Dr. Moore, Superintendent, again on how the proposed projects meet the needs as just described.
Educational needs met, and these projects will span from 2026 through 2028. would be safe and secure entrances at middle and high schools, reliable roofs, HVAC and foundational repairs, renovated classroom, gyms, locker rooms, and student spaces, technology updates, Chromebooks, PA system, upgraded athletic and extracurricular facilities.
All right, thank you. So at this point, I would like to welcome Joey Cardenas from Baker Tilly, our municipal advisor, and about how the proposed project will be financed, as well as information about the effect the typical property taxer on the typical property taxpayer. Joey?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Joey Cardenas with Baker Tilly, and like I said, we serve as school municipal advisor. And as far as a nice hearing, just going to be walking through some estimated financial information as well as some maximums related to the project. So as I go through this, please stop me with any questions. But before I hop into the school's proposed project, I'm just going to walk through the outstanding debt. So here on slide 3 is a chart of the school's existing debt service. The school has about 7 obligations being paid out of debt service. As you see here in 2025, the total payment comes to about 4.1 million. And then beginning in 2026, drops to about 1.5 million. So just kind of signaling some payment capacity is becoming available. So as part of these projects, just going to walk through how this proposed project layers into the school's outstanding debt with no increase to levy or rate. On slide 4, not going to dive into too much detail. This is just the data behind that graph, and you can see all the 7 obligations and their payments and how they add up together. On slide 5, looking at the school's calculation of general obligation and debt capacity. This is just a calculation from the state where you take net assessed value, divide by 3 and times it by 2%. So looking at the school's 2025 net assessed value of about 760 million, divide that by 3, times that by 2%, and get the school's general obligation bond debt limit of 5,069,000. And then when you deduct the outstanding principal for any GO bonds outstanding for the school corporation, which is 1,815,000. The estimated remaining capacity is $3,254,000. So you'll see as part of this project, the school's approving an amount just under that, so right within their GO debt capacity. For slide 6, I'm going to walk through some estimates and maximums related to the project. Here for the maximum borrowing amount is $3,250,000. Estimated proceeds available for projects of $3,050,000. This is net of estimated cost of issuance as well as estimated underwriter fees. Maximum repayment term of 10 years. This is the can't exceed number. Here in the future slides, we're going to walk through a 2-year and 4-year payment. No decision needs to be made today. It's just some illustrations for you and decide that closer to the bond sale. Estimated interest cost of about $300,000. This is assuming about a 5% interest rate. If these were to sell today, it'd be closer to like the higher 3% area, just so you're not cushion built into these estimates, just being ultra conservative when building these. And there is talks of maybe additional rate cuts here in the next couple months, so hopefully the school can lower the numbers I just mentioned. Estimated maximum debt service payment of $3,486,000. Estimated increase over the 2025 debt service levy of $0. And estimated increase over the 2025 debt service tax rate is also 0. And these final 2 calculations are just really for legal purposes, and you'll see them in your resolutions, but the current and proposed annual debt service divided by net assessed value is 0.54%. And direct and overlapping debt divided by net assessed value is 3.68%. So moving forward, just going to look at a couple of repayment scenarios. On slide 7, here is a 2-year repayment. You'll see here in the dark blue bars represent the school's existing debt service, and the light blue bars represent the proposed bond payments. You'll see here in 2025, again, it's about 4.1 million. And as part of this issuance, the proposed bonds looking at bringing that payment in 2026 right in line with where it was in 2025. So again, no increase in the payments, no increase in levy or rate. And then again, a step down in 2027. So it really provides the school some flexibility in the future as well for any future projects that may be needed. For this slide. Again, not going to dive into too much detail. This is just the data behind those. So you'll see on the left-hand column the existing debt service totals and then the estimated payments for the 2025 months for this 2-year repayment. Slide 9, looking at the 4-year repayment. Again, pretty similar to Previous slide, in 2026, bringing those total payments right in line with where it was in 2025. And then now there's additional 2 years associated with it. So still a huge step down in payments beginning in 2027. So again, still providing plenty of flexibility for the school in future years. Really just the main trade-off to consider when looking at a 2-year, 4-year, 5, whatever it is. I'll just use a 2 and 4 year as an example. But the 2-year payment, you'll pay, when comparing it to the 4-year, we'll pay less interest, but just will have lesser of a step down in 2027 in this example. And then versus the 4-year payment, just with it being longer, you'll pay a little bit more in interest, but you have a little bit more flexibility beginning as early as 2027. So just some trade-offs. There's no right or wrong. It's just what this group really prefers on that time. So, and no decision you can make today. Plus, I think we're going to sell these in November, so plenty of time to really still consider those options. Slide 10, again, just the data behind that. And now instead of the 2 years, the 4-year payment on this data slide. And then just a couple more slides on slide 12. This is just a chart showing how the school's general obligation bond debt capacity kind of rolls back on. So looking at 2 and 4 years. So you'll see here, including the 2025 issuance, the school would have 4 GO bonds outstanding. And so really in the far right column, the remaining debt capacity, you just kind of see how as principal is paid off related to these GO bonds, whether it's the 2020, 23, 24, or now the 25, you just start to see how the capacity rolls back on. This assumes no SS value growth compared to the 2025. So it might actually be more now with the 2026, the GO limit, but really just showing how that capacity rolls back on. So here in the next couple of years, almost fully regains capacity. And slide 13, kind of the same thing, which is now looking at the 4-year payment. So a little bit, obviously 2 more years to regain that capacity, but still you'll see here on the 2025 column that the back end of this repayment isn't a ton of principal, so you still regain a good amount throughout the years. So I know there's a lot of information. I just thank you all for your time, and please don't have any questions.
All right, thanks, Joey.
Joey, I got one question, real quick. If we go with the 3, whatever, what does that leave us in our borrowing capacity at that point, beyond that, at that time?
In general, that is something we can run for this. So I don't have that exact number in mind now, because we can look at it, whether that means you want to look at how much you have in the next 10 years, next 15 years.
It'd be like year, because like in case we have emergency, what's our borrow capacity at that point if we put this on that leaves us in, right?
In terms of GO bonds or in total bonds?
Total bonds and what it would take.
That is something we can look into that. We can provide 2 different type of timeframes as well, if that's all.
Because we'd have a major thing, which we've had before. That, we just want to make sure we still have a little gap in there.
No, I'll be happy to run that for you
So,
in the next couple of days, get that information back to you, get that for you.
All right. Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it. Okay. A lot of information there. But now with that being said, I'd like to open up this public hearing for anybody who would like to speak. Now, I did already pull the sign-in sheet earlier at the beginning of the meeting. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on behalf or towards this public hearing for the bond? Okay. At this point, then, I'd like to thank everybody who participated in this hearing. We appreciate your time and interest in the projects and the future of our community. Please note that this is just the first step in the legal process. The board will continue to work with the administration and its professionals to look for efficiencies to conserve tax dollars while meeting our educational needs. Okay, so at this point, I will adjourn the public hearing. That was 3 of 3 tonight. I think that's a record. We will go ahead and reconvene the regular meeting that we started. And by doing so, we're on number 8 on the agenda if you're following along. I'd like to get a motion for consent items A through AA. Including A being the minutes for the August 11th, 2025 regular meeting and executive session. 8B, the minutes for the September 2nd, 2025 public hearing. 8C, monthly and payroll claims and the funds transfer report. 8D, the approval of the monthly financial report as submitted by the treasurer, as well as 8E through AA, also including some resignations, recommendations. We do have the out-of-state field trip that the FFA spoke about for livestock judging, as well as several fundraisers and things like that coming up. So I'd like to get a motion for consent items A through AA as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Comments, questions? Okay. All in favor of consent items A through AA as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, number 9, school presentation, the DCES counseling program. Mr. Hawk.
Thank you, everyone. I feel very fortunate for the opportunity to speak tonight about our counseling program at Delphi Community Elementary School and Camden Early Child Care Center. Speaking with me, as you've seen before, will be Sarah Carlson and also our school counselor for both buildings, Christina Leslie. I think this is I know this is my 24th year in public ed. And, I was only gone, just like Sherry said, for a few years to college before I was back. So school counseling is something that I've been aware of for the majority of my life. And it seems like the further we go, the more important it is. And during my career, I've learned one thing you can count on is you don't know what's coming next. I never expected something like COVID. And I never expected the consequences of the shutdown as far as having to come back and teach children how to interact, how to socialize after they've been kept separate. Today, students face challenges with social media that we never had when we were younger, and the bullying that comes with social media. And as we go on, there's more brought to light about mental health issues in elementary age students. So having a good counseling program is something that sets students up for success for their whole educational career. It's something you have to take care of all of those things before you can get to the academics. Next, Sarah Carlson.
We switch slides, please. So the why behind our counseling program, why do we need it? So in aligning with our mission and our educational philosophy, our mission includes the focus on relationships and in creating a safe and stimulating environment. Our philosophy at DCESC wants to focus on the fostering, a sense of belonging, modeling values such as respect, honesty, leadership, caring, which is directly addressed in our Character Strong program. And we care about the whole child. So not just looking at the academic piece, but making sure we have kids that feel safe and cared for in the environment that they're learning in. We also want to address having a response to critical needs that we observe in our community and across Indiana. And of those needs, we look specifically at those needs. We see about 25% of Indiana kids exhibit 2 or more ACEs. And so what ACEs are adverse childhood experiences. So it's about 1 in 4 of our kids. Go on, Joe. So ACEs include things like divorce, grief, separation, instability in the home, substance abuse issues in the home kids are dealing with, whether that's drugs or alcohol, violence exposure in the home that kids are witnessing, and then living with mental health in the home as well. So those are some of the ACEs kids can experience. And so we're saying 1 in 4 are experiencing 2 or more of those, coming to school with those needs and dealing with that. Other needs we have that our counseling program addresses are decision-making skills, social skills that are needed, rise in discipline referrals, as well as complying with state laws on teaching bullying and body safety.
Christina's gonna go over the program.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. It is really a pleasure to stand here and talk about the counseling program at the elementary schools. I really thought about how to start this, and I never thought I would be a school counselor. I'll just say that. I knew my career would always lead to working with children, but being an elementary school counselor wasn't on the docket for that. But I believe in helping through solution-based. I believe in every single child that goes to that elementary school. And I want to tell you a little bit, I want to tell you a story. When I started, I went in and did classroom lessons in my first month there. And during one of my classroom lessons in, I think it was a second or third grade class, a young man came to me and he's like, "Where are the other counselors?" And I'm like, "Buddy, I don't know." He goes, "Is it our fault? Were we bad?" And I knew right then that I either left or I was 100% committed. So here I am, 100% committed to those kids. So a little bit about what I do, an overview of the counseling program. I spend most of my time in Tier 1, which is universal support. I make it a point to go into every single class at least once monthly. That's usually based around the Character Strong curriculum and focusing on the character trait of the month. This month is respect, which is why you heard it many, many times. Speaking of the children, teachers can request lessons in that if they feel like there's something going on in their classroom that isn't part of that Character Strong, but they need that in their room. They can request that. I also go to Camden weekly and do class lessons there. So I alternate between the pre-K and the kindergarten there. Tier 2 is small groups. So it's really a little bit more focused. So I look at kind of what I'm seeing. If I see a lot of referrals from students, teachers, parents in one group, particularly if it's K through 2 or 3 through 5, where I can put those ages together. For example, grief is something we've heard a lot of lately. And it just allows me to pull those children into a small group if it's appropriate. Tier 3, that is where I would spend time with the kiddos on an individual basis. I have a stop sign on my door. They know that it is their time with me, and that we won't be disturbed. So that is what my day looks like. Okay, so the classroom and universal initiatives. We have the Character Strong alignment, which I have talked a little bit about. We follow that. I do class lessons monthly, Camden weekly lessons. I did have a chance to start doing Counselor Corner videos, which has been a pleasure. So I do one for Delphi and then I do one for Camden because their curriculum looks a little bit different. And it's about a 2 to 3 minute weekly video called Counselor Corner. I go in, I did a kindness one where we talked about kindness being like ripples, and you never know that one little thing can ripple out, and that act of kindness could change the school. This week, I'm going to go do interviews with Judge Evans and Nick McLeland and Chief Mullen, and we're going to talk and get ready for Constitution Day. And I had 3rd through 5th grade ask questions if they wanted to for each of those, and they were very interesting. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. Another thing that I wanted to focus on was I believe in teaching children and helping them learn to help themselves. I want to do that with comfort and integrity, but I also believe that children need to learn how to problem solve and be solution focused themselves. So at the beginning of the year, I sent all the teachers out a Peace Path initiative. What that is conflict resolution, problem solving, and it really walks. This is actually in my room. I had it in the hallway for a while and then realized it was slippery and fun. So now it's in my room. But teachers are more than welcome to use it. There's rules that you start out with that we listen with our ears and when other people are talking, and it actually walks the 2 children through step by step. when you say this is what I hear, here's what I need from you. And then at the end, it is agreeing on a resolution, shake hands, fist bump, hug, whatever they choose to do. I'm standing right there to help guide, but it's been very, very successful because it's teaching them to communicate with each other. I also have a problem-solving wall outside my door where, it's elementary. Usually 3rd through 5th grade, I get a lot of let's talk forums about friendship, conflict. My question to them is tell me what you've tried, because what would you like Miss Leslie to help with? I want you to solve it for me. Let's sit down and solve it together. Next slide. So, last year I started in January. I didn't really get a chance to start keeping track of data. So that was one of my initiatives this year, is to really keep track of where I am, the impact that the elementary school counseling program is having. So this is the data for this year so far. We have had this year, so from August to now, I've had 38 class lessons. I've had 12 group sessions and 22 individual sessions with students. I had a little girl come to me and she's like, what can I do, Miss Leslie, to help other kids who come in here know that it's okay to be themselves? So she made this sign and she brought it to me and picked where to hang it right under the breathing light. That little face up there breathes, it has a light that you breathe with. So she designed that and I thought that was important for you guys to see. And Mr. Hawk, next slide, please. Mr. Hawk.
So our overall goal is to connect our counseling program back to our big goals for the school. And if you are familiar with the Oracle way, we are respectful, we are responsible, we are safe, and we are kind. And those are the things that Miss Leslie helps us accomplish, all of them working together to make a safe environment for our students to thrive academically. So what are our next steps? Well, collaboration and a team approach. Bi-weekly meetings to discuss specific student outcomes, concerns, and needs, class needs, what school initiatives we can put in place, what we need to do moving forward with that, how we address attendance issues and attendance meetings with parents, and also what we can do to meet the needs of our students with 504 plans.
And this is the fun part. So I have to limit myself on talking because I'm a talker. So when it comes to talking about my future dreams, you would have to give me a couple hours. So I tried to limit it down a little bit. Technology is a big part of education today. So I never want to underestimate the importance of that one-on-one communication with the students. But I am a single counselor in 2 schools. So how do I make the most impact with the resources I have? So something I have thought of for the future that I want to get started on is a Google site, and that I'll have some questions for the tech department and making sure that works. But developing that so they have access to a Google site that has things like a virtual comm corner. And I purchased this fantastic curriculum where it has digital journals. So, if they have grief and I don't have the ability to see them every couple days and they're struggling, they have that journal to bring up and work with. So it also initiates a lot of, hey, I'm feeling this. I've been able to say I feel this. What resources are on there to help me? So it allows them, to start helping themselves, to labeling their emotions and being able to get on and find the resources to help with that. And it helps me be successful for 2 elementary schools of children. Along with that, I want to develop for parents and caregivers a Google site that includes things like, for instance, on Parent Square, I did a warning about horror games online because they seem very nice and great, but then in level 4, looking around for young people, in level 4, not so nice things happen at the school.
Have led to real crimes.
Yeah.
In the case of the Slender Man.
And parents
don't always know that. And also community resources. You know, I'm not always available 24/7. I have this need, where do I go? You know, Bauer has it, 211 has it, but having parents have that central place to go and go, wow, I have this resources for me. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is the fun part. I really want to focus on some new groups and family involvement because I believe in having family as part of the school to make things successful. So Breakfast Club, I have to keep that name because I'm quite fond of that name. Some students have trouble navigating from home to school. It causes great dysregulation. So my hope is to start a 15-minute time where children can grab their breakfast, come to my room, there's calm music, the lighting's a little lower, they can get themselves regulated, and then go about their day. Art with Hearts, I am a certified trained facilitator for A Window Between Worlds, which is art healing trauma, a curriculum. So that is something I really would like to start, get children in there. It's something that I would have to do K2 and then 3 to 5. But I'm really looking forward to that because sometimes children find art healing versus talking. Kindness Club, pretty self-explanatory. Doing such things as rock painting, kindness challenges, other initiatives throughout the school. I think children will really grab onto that one. And then family engagement. There's some things that I'd love to implement. Family game night. Teaches cooperation, gets families in to the school. Coffee with the counselor, a quarterly meeting where they can come in either virtually or my room will be open in the morning before school starts and we'll discuss a topic that's of relevance to going on. So maybe social skills, things like that. I also want to say that it has been a pleasure working with the Student Services Department as a whole because I am working in a department that is completely collaborative in their approach to student counseling in a K through 12 perspective. How do we start in pre-K and end in 12 and make sure all our schools are aligned in what we are serving in our Student Services Department? So our character strong, we have monthly meetings together where we can talk about our initiatives in the schools, such as College Go Week. Purdue Pete's going to be at the elementary school. Middle school is doing their thing. High school. So we are all working together to make sure that as students move through the district, they have that consistency in the counseling department. Yeah, and then just program development together. We talk about it. We make sure that it's not the elementary doing something, and then when children get to middle school, it's completely different. So next slide, please.
So in closing, in order to hit our academic goals here at Delphi, we have to also look at the child and make sure they come to school ready to learn. So we want them to come to school in a safe, welcoming, caring environment so that they can learn and they're ready when they get here. So our program at Delphi does just that with Mrs. Leslie's help. So we thank the board for their support in all of our endeavors. So.
And next slide. Any questions the board has for us?
Thank you for educating us.
Please reach out anytime if you ever have questions. I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, yeah, thank you for that presentation. I think we sometimes graze over what all these kids go through and what weights they carry just to come to school. So that's awesome to hear that and that we've got ways to work with them. I think Mr. Dale is not here.
Is that a JV?
So his athletics report has been presented to us. Do you have anything to add? Other than I know the Bacon Bowl is Friday. We'd like to see some black and gold over East. So maybe we can bring that skill at home. And then we have the superintendent's report, Dr. Moore.
Thank you. Just want to highlight a couple things. Very excited to showcase our first community newsletter. That should be going out soon to mailboxes within our district, but beyond as well. So I just appreciate all the staff that work together to highlight some exciting things like our PLTW program, fine arts, bracketology, athletics, our Oracle Online, which will be starting in January, just making sure that everyone is aware of all the great things happening here. I will, of course, share that digitally too once it hits mailboxes. We'll put out some other newsletters throughout the year. It will not be our only community newsletter. We will work on sharing the news again in the winter, and we'll also have a spring edition. Excited for our admin team to be leading by example with learning. So I want to share that we're committed to a book study, and it's about professional learning communities. And we're emphasizing that this is an ongoing process. It's a culture shift. Many of the things we're doing, but want to be consistent again, just like our counseling program across all buildings. And so this is about making sure that all students are learning at high levels, and that we focus on learning, collaboration, collective inquiry, continuous improvement, and being results driven. And as a team, we came together and analyzed data, and that was a great experience, and just carrying that into all of our buildings. And I know teacher teams, counseling teams, working together to make sure that we are looking at results and that we're taking action. The Superintendent Student Advisory Council, I received 37 applicants from our students in grades 6 through 12. That just makes me so happy that our students' voices will be heard. I will be notifying students who will be chosen for that council this week. And my goal is to choose two students per grade level, which is going to be hard because their applications are spectacular. Our first meeting will take place toward the end of this month. So excited to share, what our students, again, they're who we're here for. And so their voices need to be heard. Strategic planning, I received almost 50 survey responses so far. So the survey is open through the 19th, and I've had many reply in that survey that they're interested in participating in the focus groups. So we will put together those groups and plan to meet in October, which is excited at the feedback I'm receiving, emphasizing the great things already happening here, but again, looking toward the future of Delphi. And that's my update.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving into new business, I'm going to probably group a couple things together here. I'd like to get a motion to discuss 11A, the MOU with Peak Community Services Pre-Employment Transition Services, as well as 11B, which is a contract for Public Consulting Group LLC and DCSC. And then the last one would be 11C, which would be approve the out-of-district transfers numbers for 2025 through 2026. So can I get a motion for 11A through C?
I move 11A through C to approve.
Second. Dr. Moore, can you give us a little bit of explanation on the MOU?
Yeah, so that's an MOU that we engage with. It's a regular, ongoing every single year annually for students in ages 14 through 22 for vocational rehabilitation.
Okay. And how about the contract for Public Consulting Group LLC?
So this is through, this is Medicaid with our school system, an agreement that we have.
Okay, and then the last one here, approving out of district transfer numbers. Can you inform us on that?
Yes, so first, ensuring that we can accept transfers through the second count date. So wanting to make sure that date is changed. It was set to January 30th. We would like to have that through July 1st to make sure that we make it through that second count day, which is in February 2nd. First count day is October 1st. Second count day is February 2nd. So that's the first change I would like to make with that. And that involves the cap. So continuing to accept students. This is something I have engaged in discussion with our teachers association about, and making sure that we are able to continue to accept students that would not pass the limits of kindergarten and first grade, 25 students per class, second and third grade, 28 students per class, fourth and fifth, 30 students per class, sixth through eighth, 35 students per class, and 9 through 12, 35 students per class. I think it's important to note that we are not even close to those numbers. So no one should be afraid of those numbers. We are not even close. So just making sure though, because we hope to grow, that we would make sure that if needed, I'm not saying we wouldn't continue to accept students, but we'd like to have a number in which to make decisions about whether or not to add classroom teachers. And again, we are required by the state to set these limits.
Any questions on A, B, or C as presented?
On the MOU, maybe I just didn't see it. Is there a cost rate factor to that? I didn't see that. You did say the length of contract is yearly, and that wasn't on that MOU either, but.
No, it's just an agreement.
Just agreement, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. All in favor of 11A, B, and C as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, moving forward, I'd like to get a motion to discuss 11D Fissel electronic services for DCHS gym LED lighting.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
So the first is we had some lighting that needed to be changed out at the high school. And so that was with LED lights that were replaced in the gym.
Were those haven't been in that long.
Yeah, that was part of the,
I know Chip's not here, but was it for the scoreboard?
Energy saving.
No,
Yeah.
it was under warranty and then something happened, and I think, let me get, if I can find the email.
because we had a major
From what I
renovation.
understood, it was under warranty work, but we had to pay a portion of it. But the $5,000 is the labor, is that what's on there?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, labor was $5,175, material $225, and a lift rental looks like $500 for a total of $5,900.
But they was guaranteed for. Guess we're gonna talk to Tony.
Well,
Man,
I'm happy
that's
to.
just the labor.
So we don't,
Look into
yeah, we don't pay for
Yeah,
the
the
lights.
lights weren't, we weren't charged for the lights.
Yeah, we're paying
That's
for the
correct.
labor. We didn't pay labor on the lights in the parking lot when it was replaced.
This is what, I think Chris said.
Doesn't see it.
It was a high school main gym, performance supplied all new fixtures under warranty. We had to pay for the labor for them to be replaced. They had to purchase chain and hardware to hang the lights properly. The old lights were not mounted properly. Performance only supplied new fixtures.
so we couldn't evidently do it ourselves, replace them?
Oh, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, we could void our warranty. You only have warranty once. Interesting. That's all right. We're gonna have a talk with Tony anyway in a week.
Oh, we'll see Monday.
Yeah.
And then voice systems.
I didn't go that far yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any other questions on 11D? Okay. All in favor of 11D Fissel electronic services as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. I'd like to get a motion to discuss 11E for voice systems.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
It's the software system that we use for payroll personnel, recs, maintenance. It's our regular software maintenance.
So this is standard comparatively speaking, a
Yes.
total of $16,200.
Is this a renewal?
It's a yearly
It's annual.
annual.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments for voice systems? Okay. All in favor of 11E, Voice Systems as presented, say aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. New business, 11E. I'd like to get a motion to discuss the DCSC food service, the adult breakfast and lunch price change.
So moved.
Dr. Moore?
So the state sets guidelines where it's a calculation that's done, and we put the numbers in and they output what we need to charge for lunch and breakfast. We're following what the state advises. So there's a slight increase. You can see breakfast remains the same for elementary, lunch increases by a nickel. For the middle high school, breakfast increases by 10 cents. And then there's a slight increase for lunch. So not major increases, slight increases.
Okay. All in favor of 11E, the DCSC food service adult breakfast and lunch price change, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. 11F, I'd like to get a motion to discuss the transfer DCMS 3016 Dance Club funds to the DCHS Palms account.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
So this has now changed to POMS, and so we're just transferring the funds from dance to POMS. And it's a very low balance, as you see, of $79.
Any questions? All right. All in favor of 11F, transfer of DCMS 3016 Dance Club funds to DCHS Palms account, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving forward, 11G, I'd like to get a motion to discuss authorization to sign agreements for alternative service and private residential school placement.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
So this is an agreement for our cooperative, our special education cooperative, to make sure that in the event that we would need alternative or private residential placements, that we are able to sign for those.
Any questions? Okay. All in favor of 11G, authorization to sign agreements for alternative service and private residential school placement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. 11H, I'd like to get a motion to discuss the Oracle Online Student Handbook for the 2026 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Moore?
So this is a handbook that would be given to students and their families who participate in Oracle Online beginning in January. So this lays out how there's differences than the traditional school day, and making sure that all those expectations are well known for grades K through 12, because there is information about attendance, there's information about participation in extracurriculars and athletics. So this information will be really necessary for families to understand, as this is going to be something new for many of our families, or for those that are coming in for the first time. So wanting to make sure those expectations are clear in that onboarding process. This is something that has been shared with administration, has been talked about with, I know Chip is here now, with athletics too, to make sure that we're meeting all the requirements through IHSAA and others. So it's a little bit different. And so we just want to make sure we're prepared for that.
Chris?
Did I miss it, or was there, I read through it, I didn't see where there was a specific start time when the classes start at like 8:05, 8:15. Did I miss that, or is it not in there?
So schedules for students, depending upon which grade they're in, is going to be different. For students in elementary, they do have a normal schedule, a typical schedule. It doesn't mirror ours exactly. And with the flexibility that they have, students can show up to class live, or if they are not able to attend the live class, they are able to access recordings for each class.
Okay.
So the why behind Oracle Online is really that freedom and flexibility. However, you are held accountable with making sure that work is being turned in, grades are, looked at in the same way for, graduation requirements, participation in extracurriculars and athletics. But again, it's that freedom and flexibility that some families really want and need, that is really appealing to some families.
There is a certain amount of hours, though, they have to attend weekly, right?
But it doesn't have to be live. You could attend all of your classes through recordings. It's really the work that needs to be completed in order to receive credit for your courses.
Any other questions?
You mentioned athletics. I don't see the clause in here on athletics.
It's in
Was it in there?
there.
Yeah.
Let's see what page that's on. And we talked about that at great length. That is something that we are going to allow with approval, because exceptions would be, we have to think about if a student, let's say, potentially was removed from a team in another school district, well, that would be considered before we would just allow them to join our teams. So we will consider it, but it is with administrative approval. So that would be, let's see here, I think it's page 3.
Bottom of 4, I believe.
Okay.
So they basically would adhere to our
Yes, it is
current ECA stuff, like particularly like athletics, that if they're kicked out of whatever, for whatever reason, and they have a penalty, right, like a lack of season or whatever it may be, we normally they have to follow the same when they get enrolled here. So it'll be the same thing going in with this. So they'll abide by the same rules, basically,
Yes.
right?
And they are still Delphi students, and that is why.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea of expected participation?
Well, we have 3 students who are piloting it right now. And I've heard from neighboring school districts, like I'm aware that Rossville, has a program. They're in their second year, I believe, and their first year they were single digit, and now they're double digit in their second year. So I would expect, a handful of students, and then I would expect it to grow. I know that our families, I've heard from, all levels, that families are looking for this option. And if we did not have it, then we would be losing students to the state program or to other school districts, and we don't want that. For some students, this may be temporary. For some, it could be a path to, becoming an in-person student as well. And I have seen that in the district that I was just at, some students engaged in online, which did lead to them coming in person, especially those extracurriculars. And you start to, meet other students, and we, we're a family here in our community. And I feel that may really, get some of our families, even from beyond our district boundaries, to want to be here. Excited about the
classes,
possibility.
AP classes?
Say it again?
Are any of these, are they AP classes?
There are different levels and options for courses, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Languages, advanced classes, yes. Mm-hmm.
We may have to change the name to Delphi Global after all, right?
I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be successful.
Okay. All in favor of 11H, the Oracle Online Student Handbook for the 2025-2026 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Another one here, 11I. I'd like to get a motion to discuss the curriculum approval for the DCHS Business and Accounting.
So moved. Second.
Dr. Moore.
So this we have created a new form for the approval of curriculum. So this was submitted to Mr. Long at the high school from business, and they're wanting an up-to-date accounting curriculum. And so this is just a revision to an existing course, the curriculum.
Any questions or comments on the curriculum?
Was this mandated by the state to do this, or did we do it?
It was not mandated, no.
And there is a cost to this, right?
Yes, there
35,
is.
10, 28, just for the record.
Yep. That is
So it
correct.
doesn't sound like we're just doing a revision that there is a cost to it. So
Debit left, credit right.
yeah.
All right, all in favor of 11I, the curriculum approval for the DCHS Business and Accounting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, the last four here, I will start out. We will need to get a motion to discuss the board consideration of the project resolution. So if I can get a motion to discuss 11J, then I can let Dr. Moore summarize this.
Would you like for us just to do it for all of them and then summarize each one and then vote?
We can do that as well.
That might make it a little easier and simpler.
So let's get a motion for 11 J, K, L, and M to discuss the resolutions as presented.
Second.
All right, Dr. Moore, let's start with J.
So project resolution, the project resolution is required when a school corporation is planning to finance more than $1 million on a given facility or type of work. It contains the estimated hard and soft construction cost and the cost of issuance and establishes the total project cost. It also contains the estimated tax impact.
Okay, so with that being said, are there any discussion or questions on that?
It's not to exceed 3.25, right, million.
Okay, so at this point, can you summarize the preliminary determination resolution? We're going to vote all of them together.
The preliminary determination resolution is required when a school corporation with a certain debt service tax rate is planning to finance more than a certain amount for school facility improvements. It contains the total project cost, maximum annual payment and lease term, and other financial terms, such as the estimated principal amount and tax impact.
Any questions or comments on that one? Okay, at this point, I'll ask Dr. Moore to summarize the preliminary bond resolution.
The preliminary bond resolution contains the project cost for the projects, maximum interest rate, and other financial terms, such as the first interest payment date and maturity dates of the bonds, all with respect to the issuance of general obligation bonds.
Any questions or comments? Okay, then the last one here, Dr. Moore, can you please summarize the reimbursement resolution?
This resolution relates to the financing of the construction project. This resolution permits the school corporation to reimburse itself from bond proceeds for any cash which it might spend on the project prior to the closing on the bonds. It is required by federal tax law in order to preserve the school corporation's ability to reimburse itself.
Okay, with hearing summarization of all four of these, are there any final questions or comments on 11 J, K, L, or M as presented? Okay, all in favor of 11 J, the board consideration for project resolution, 11 K, the board consideration of preliminary determination resolution, 11L, the board consideration of preliminary bond resolution, and 11M, the board consideration of reimbursement resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, we are now down to 11N. This will be the second reading and the approval for Neola policies. So I'd like to get a motion to discuss the second reading as well as followed with an approval vote for letter N. And I will go through all of the policies being bylaw 0166.1, bylaw 0167.2, policy 1216, policy 1220, policy 2131, policy 2131 V1, policy 2210, policy 2221, Policy 2340, Policy 2370, Policy 2370.02, Policy 2411, Policy 2421, Policy 2623, Policy 2700, Policy 3120, Policy 3120.02, Policy 3120.11, Policy 3142, Policy 32116, Policy 4120, Policy 4213.01, Policy 4216, Policy 5111, Policy 5310, Policy 5330, Policy 5410, Policy 5460, Policy 5462, Policy 5511, Policy 5517.01, and finally, Policy 5540. I'd like to get a motion for the second reading and the approval of all Neola policies presented.
Mr. President, I move to approve 11N, the NOAA policy, after the second reading.
Okay, remember we went through all these. They've had revises, changes, punctuation. So we've already had the first reading. This is the second reading. Are there any other questions or comments before we vote?
Question on one. 5462, retaking a class. See where on the first one, it says that the bottom line in green there on E is not got an X on it. What I have a question about is what if someone gets a C+, but they want to take a class over and improve their GPA so that they have a higher grade, maybe take it online. You just take the class over to improve their overall GPA. That box isn't checked on E,
And, right, and we don't have to choose it.
but we don't have to.
Correct.
But so if they wanted to take a class online to improve their GPA, they can still do that.
But we didn't choose it.
So we are not allowing it.
That's correct.
So if they want to try to improve it, take a class over on their own to improve their GPA, we're not going to allow that.
Right. It's at a cost. Hate to say
Well,
it.
don't they pay their own way?
drafting note was an interesting part of that, right? You choose this provision to allow students. to
Below a B, right.
Below a B.
Right.
If they want to retake, that to me felt like if they wanted to retake the class, especially if they're looking to earn that seal on the new diploma. But I don't know that,
It is-
I assumed that one went with D, that we did check.
So we have the student has not passed at least one of the end of course exams required for graduation. And then we also have if a student has failed a class to retake it. But a student below a B, we did not with earning hours toward the seal. Specifically, it's the seal on the new Indiana diploma.
Now, what's the cost involved if they just decide they want to take it on their own? Take it over? You said there was a cost involved?
No, there's always a cost, Mike, whenever you do second time. I mean, I don't care what you do. I mean, again, you might have a kid be wanting to take, what happens in the next time and he gets a B and I want to take it again until I can just keep
Yeah, but don't
delaying.
they pay that themselves?
No,
Oh, they don't?
this ain't college where they do that. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Well, but it says a C plus.
Yeah.
Right, so if you're in a
It's not a
C
B.
plus,
I mean-
right.
I guess there's always maybe it's the waiver consideration to take the class again. I don't know why we would deny a kid from taking a class again if they had the initiative to want to get a better grade.
And there may be justifiable reasons why they were unable to take class on a regular basis or illness or something.
And we haven't approved it yet. If you would like to add it as an option, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Do you see a rationale not to? I mean,
Well, I would trust our Director of Student Services to provide her input about that, since she's the one that would be scheduling kids to retake the class.
Handbook that they cannot take a class over from a C or higher, or from a higher, C or higher, is what the handbook for the high school says.
It's in our handbook if they can't do that.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
correct.
if they get a C, they cannot retake it. If they get a B or an F, they can retake it.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's typically for failing, and I think that's, not that we can't adjust our handbook.
It's because, academic, for right now, for the diploma for seniors, juniors, and sophomores, they can't have anything lower than a C on their transcript and get academic honors. So it's for that student that goes into, let's say, pre-cal and freaks out and gets a D+, they can go back in and take it, so they can get the C or higher to get their academic honors. That's the reason we have that in place.
All right, any other questions or comments? Are we good with that?
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of number 11, new business, letter N, second reading and approval of Neola policies as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, we're out of new business here. We have a couple donations and thank yous. Dr. Moore, can you give us some information on that?
Yeah, thanks to Ginger DeMoss, Red String Backpacks to Camden, and Janet Barnaby, School Supplies at Camden. So thank you for their generosity.
All right, awesome. I think we I think the FFA mentioned it earlier, but I think Jerry Sparks and Jason Pearson donated a decent amount of money to the FFA. I'd like to go ahead and add that in there and thank them as well. That's just another part of the community helping out these kids that are trying to get to the things that they want. So I'll add that in there as well. We have future dates here. October 13th, we have a regular board meeting here in the Abby and Libby Memorial Library at 6:30. At this point, we will go through some board comments. Ms. Brown, our class representative, I will put you in the hot seat first. We'll give you the easy chance for something here.
The easy chance. Say it all. We don't have to.
Thanks for having me today. I appreciate you guys letting me listen in and see what you guys do. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Schwarzkopf.
I want to thank everybody that attended tonight. Thank you to stay to the end also. Appreciate that. It's always great to see community and giving them a reason actually to come in. And I think that's great that way. To our guidance counselors and our other counselors, it's great to see things we're trying to do. I've always said that we need to figure out how to get the family back into the school. And some of those potential future projects is good. I remember going up to Knox, and they have a cookies and milk night where they bring people in and do, and that's kind of what it kind of sounds like. I look forward to maybe seeing some of that. Of course, I've already said, but I'll say again, good luck to the FFA livestock judging at this point in time. It's great that those kids actually went out and gathered donations to actually exceed, I think, their cost was going to be. So again, to those who donated, not only for that, but our other two donators here that gave us for supplies there at Camden. I guess you guys are still back there. That's good. Yes, we're coming up on negotiations. I appreciate all the comments. Having a wife that served about as many years and listened to her from time to time over the hardships. We did have hardships, and I'm sure times may be that again, but I also know that we'll work together to make a common goal, and that's about the kids. So I appreciate your guys' comments. Thank you for the work you do. Michelle, thank you. Andrew, thank you. You guys don't get thanked enough. And a lot of times it's more on the other side of the stick. And so we all know here on the board, understand what that can be. So thank you. I left you some.
Did you?
Yeah.
Mr. Smith.
I also want to thank everybody that hung out tonight all the way through this. One of our longer meetings, but a lot on the agenda and accomplishing a lot. Off to a great start for the school year. So thanks to everybody that's out here that's working hard every single day for our students. I also wanted to say thanks to Jason Pearson and Jerry Sparks, two outstanding businessmen, Delphi graduates that continue to support our programs and certainly involved in our FFA and our ag programs. Congratulations to those FFA and good luck on that livestock judging coming up. But really, Audrey as a freshman to get fourth on her creed. What an accomplishment, you know, and I do, like Kirk, remember that first time she came here and you could see the nerves and they came a long way and it's been I'm sure it's been a lot of fun for you as well, but what an exciting time for us. And also with the DCTA and the contract negotiations, I want to say thanks to all the teachers that spoke tonight, shared, I think, very positive thoughts about where we're headed with the corporation and as a community. So I look forward to seeing how that all goes and coming up with something that really benefits our community, but also our faculty and staff as they represent us in the community every day. So thank you.
Mr. Nipple.
Echo my previous two board members' comments. I want to thank the people that stuck with us for this whole meeting tonight, and good luck with contract negotiations. And I appreciate all the teacher comments that were made tonight. Sure hope we can keep everybody here that is at Delphi now, because I think we have a great staff and a great group of administrators and fantastic superintendent. Appreciate all her hard work, and good luck to the football team Friday night. I'd like to bring home a victory Friday night.
It wouldn't bother me at all.
All right, Mrs. Mills.
Yeah.
I would just say, the Duff stuck it out for so long and I was hoping to tell them, but really incredible job. What a great group of kids for them to come and talk in front of the board like they have done. I appreciate you bringing them here and encouraging them to come. I think hearing more about what they do is great. We hear about so many other things with the school, but I have learned a lot from what they're doing and what all of you guys are doing in the ag department. So I appreciate that. And Tim, you're great for coming in and it was a heartfelt night. So I appreciate, I missed hearing the stories about the kids and the students of the month. So that was great. And then the stories of the teachers here that really are making a difference and want to be here. So it was good.
All right, Mr. Priest.
I'd like to say how proud I am of that livestock judging team to go to the national. I can't overemphasize what a big deal that is. The school like Delphi could have a team in the nationals, and livestock judging is just, to me, phenomenal. I'm really proud of them for that. I'd like to thank our elementary staff and students and our counseling presentation today. That was very good. You did a good job. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. And I heard something when the DCTAs talked about the teacher negotiations. They said they look forward to responsible negotiations, and I absolutely agree with that. Be on both sides of the fence of that. And when they say responsible, I think that means you can trust each side, and I appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Mr. Strasser.
I'd just like to state that this was really a good board meeting. There was an opportunity for the board to listen a lot and to gain information and listen to employees. And I really enjoyed this.
All right, thank you. I'm going to round it out with just saying it was exciting once again with all the young kids and the staff recommendations, just to talk about the next level that these people take. So whether it's cafeteria, custodial, whether it's teachers, or even the kids, to hear the positive things that these kids are doing, even at that very young age, that says a lot about our teachers, a lot about our staff, and a lot about their parents. So those are the kids that we want all of our students to be in the community. So I mean, I think when people see this recognition, that lets them want to be in that spot. So I think that's huge. And I want to thank Mr. Hawk and his staff for presenting and allowing good information on those people. So I appreciate that. Basically, go Delphi. Hopefully we win this week. We have a lot more than just football, but hopefully we bring home that skillet. I know the cross country team's been doing well, and I know a lot of the sports are trying very hard. So I just want to encourage them to keep it up. And I just have one more motion, and that's for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Hey.